So I'm gonna be honest, I don't do drugs, but at the same time, I don't judge people who use them. But if you don't call your drug dealer, if you don't call your plug a TripAdvisor, then damn, you ain't using English well enough though. Welcome to Break Time on Westside, your number one break time podcast channel, giving you the best in break time podcast shows. The man on the mic is Sir Denver B, and this is the fan favorite section, episode 10. We have lasted longer than most of you and your relationships who are busy saying, we'll be together forever. Clearly now you know love is not for all of us, or at least whatever the hell it was that you were feeling wasn't for everyone else. But anyways, I'm not about to throw shade at couples today. I'm about the couples today, actually. So, I'm going to get right into the first question. Why don't guys moan during sex? Yo, there's a mad number of reasons that we can say. But I'm going to be honest about one thing. Completely honest. There's only very few reasons why. Now, first of all, toxic masculinity. Because, I did discuss toxic masculinity in this week's episode of Battle of the Sexes, and I probably didn't mention, moaning during sex, because let's be honest, guys find it very hard to be vulnerable when they're in bed. Sex is all about being vulnerable to some extent. Vulnerability is a thing that men do not seem to treasure and admire and take up because the way we've been built, and let me speak from a slightly more African context, we're built to be these very strong foundations, these very fearless human beings that are supposed to keep the family intact, that are supposed to be able to get the girl. We're pretty much built like the knight in shining armor that everyone talks of. But in reality, we're human beings, we have emotions. And toxic masculinity has kind of tried to kill emotions. It's tried to kill vulnerability. And for us, we do as much as we can, to kind of drop away from the whole vulnerability side of things, because in all honesty, we never want to come up and say, I have my weak points, I choose to be vulnerable and make a couple of sounds because it feels that good. Because here's the thing, yes, shorties will moan. For a guy, if you're giving it to your shorty real good and she isn't moaning, you either feel like you're not doing a good job or you get irritated because it's almost like she's dead. Because you don't know if you're hitting it right. You don't know if you're hitting it wrong. You don't know if she's enjoying it or not because she's being quiet. Hell, some guys will be like, yo, make a bloody sound. And that's during the sex. But it's not like girls expect the opposite. They also want you to make a sound. They like to know that, you're making them feel some type of way. And that's how it is. Now, secondly, I've spent some time with a couple of different women, and I'll be honest, women can be a bit brutal when it comes to explaining details on sex and when it comes to making fun of certain things. One of those things is a cum face. I will be straight up honest. I have sat with a bunch of girls discussing cum faces and how funny some guy's cum face was and the other guy's cum face was. And I will not lie, I'm gonna be vulnerable for a second, or at least let me snitch on some people. These shorties made it so tough for me to come out and say, I can't have this cum face. Well, to be very honest, I don't even know the kind of cum face I have. But from that point on, I was like, I'm going to keep up a straight face. Because, we don't want these shorties having some funny discussions about, Denver's cum face. I don't want to be involved in such a discussion. And I ain't ready for that. Because things in sex are actually, meant to be respected. It's kind of a vulnerable moment for people. And when it becomes a point of comedy, kind of like the same way, when you break up with a shorty and then she starts talking about how, you had a little dick or you had, bad dick game and they never told you about it before, you kind of feel betrayed. Which is why, for a lot of these guys, they can just go out and, post up the shorty's nudes and shit. Not because they initially wanted to, but it's almost like as a way of getting back. Because such a woman kind of gets a bit shamed or some shit, or, can post up a sex tape, which should probably slut shame the woman in some way, shape or form. Because we feel betrayed. So when a shorty comes up, or at least when a bunch of shorties sit down and they start making fun of cum faces, we do sometimes get insecure. Now, I recently did have a discussion with a couple of my pals about this. And we kind of did come to the conclusion that everyone has a cum face and everyone's cum face is funny. But the fact that it's a part of a vulnerability, it doesn't mean that you should take it as seriously. Like, people will make fun of you, but it's not a mockery type of making fun of someone. It's just a point to laugh about. Because different people have cum faces. There's some that look like they're constipated. There are others that look like they're cringing with their mouth, or they're trying to form an anus with their lips. I don't know. There are others where it's like the person looks like they've been electrocuted or some shit. But everyone's cum face is theirs. Now, that aside though, men, I think at this point, y'all have been given permission to moan. Moan as much as you can. But if you're in a gay relationship, I should probably give you some advice. If you're in Kenya, don't moan too loudly. Bite the pillow and scream into it. Because let's be honest, when people are busy, baby, like, it's not gonna go down too well with the people that stay around you, unless if you live in your own self-contained house with a bit of space, or should I say with some land around it, so that it gives you some space between your house and the next ones. So yeah, you probably shouldn't moan that hard. Then, in addition to that, if you're not gonna moan, the other alternative, because, just because I said, women want you to moan, it doesn't mean that you have to moan. If you're not the moaning type, there's other ways you can show that you're, getting some good pleasure. So I'd probably say breathe heavy. Like, go breathe heavily right next to her ear. Probably you're doing froggy style or some shit. Froggy style is like when you're lying on top of her and it's like your pelvis is on, that's just tilting and just sliding it in. And this is like when you're lying on her back and shit. So yeah, if you're probably doing froggy style, that could work. Pretty much heavy breathing is okay. A quick moan here and there, it'll really, really go a long way in making her feel like she's actually doing a good job. What I probably wouldn't recommend for my Kenyan sponsors is talking dirty. Because let's be honest, like, a lot of us Kenyan guys don't know how to talk dirty. And I'm not saying this as someone who's had an experience with a Kenyan man, because, well, I do not play against the home team. Imagine someone's old man busy talking about, how he's gonna hit it with her. Like, these guys didn't exactly learn how to dirty talk. So when he's talking about how he wants to take off your clothes and hit you from the back, I'm not sure it's gonna come down so well. And especially when it has like an accent. Because imagine if you hear some persons married with that saying, baby, unajua sasa mimi nataka kukumbea kutoka huko nyuma, I want to make sure I take you. And I take you to your room, and I start removing your clothes. And then I put my kanjuru bang thing inside, and I bet you're going to feel really good, Think of that type of dirty talk. Like, that's the type where you look at and you're like, okay. Because, I do tend to spend some time with women, and they do kind of tell me about how, like, there's some people who are bad flirts, good flirts. If you're a sponsor and you're hearing this, please do not dirty talk with your woman. Just go breathe heavy and tell them that, you want to see them, meet them, and make them feel alive again. Like, just stick to that. Stick to that, please. Kikuyu accent, I'm sure, should be very funny for some people. I used a Meru accent. If someone's giving you dirty talk in Swahili and they're good at it, because Swahili people, for some reason, people from the coast of Kenya, those guys can go all in. Like, if they are as vulgar with their insults as they are, if they're as vulgar in talking dirty as they are with insults, I'm sure the ladies should be pretty okay with it. They should like it. If it's someone from some of the other communities, I'm part Kisii, so if some of these Kisii niggas decide to talk dirty in Kikisi, I'm gonna be very honest. There's some shorties that like it, but I cannot speak the language, so it would be very hard for me to do it. But it would probably be very high pitched, and it would sound like a quarrel. But anyways, let me stop attacking people for that. You dirty talk if you want to. If you don't want to dirty talk, a simple heavy breath should be okay. A loud one, something like that. That shit can work. Trust me. A little bit of that here and there can go a long, long way. Now, moving it on. Would I go for a cougar? Or in other words, would I go for someone who is older than me? Women who are older than me. I've kind of gotten this question a bunch of times over these past few days and weeks. Would I go for one? Of course I would. Like, if she's fine, why the hell not? Because there's this whole thing of, if you go for, and especially for guys, if you're going for a woman who's older, especially if she's making way more money, of which it may not even be about the money, or at least that's what women say. So I'm gonna borrow a leaf from that and say the same thing. Sometimes it's not about the money, and they go for you, and you all seem to be having a good relationship. As a guy, you will be viewed as a lesser man. That's how society tends to view us. And let's be honest, it's a thing. So how exactly would I feel about it? Like, obviously I do it and I wouldn't give two shits about it. For anyone who knows me, I tend to rarely give a shit about a lot of things. And the way I look at it, I don't have a problem with you sleeping with someone older, provided that, you're getting what it is that you want. The question is, what do you want from this relationship with a lady who's much older than you? A lot of times it's mostly for fun. A lot of times, some person can be going for financial gain, of which, if you're going for that shit, you're like, at least try and save and invest that money so that, by the time y'all are getting done, at least you got that money for something, and you're not just climbing onto to probably the same or another old woman later on, busy trying to claw for her money. Like, that's how I'd say it. Like, would I go for an older woman? Of course. If she's fine, if she looked like a MILF, why the fuck not? Especially if she looked like a MILF. Because the way I see it, when it comes to women and they're looking at guys, age is nothing but a number. Well, unless it starts clocking past 40 and you can see hanging skin, but you're still going for them, then, there you clearly know money talks. But I see it from the view of, however it is you look, if I find you attractive and you're much older than me, and I'm not talking, like 30-year-old older than me, I'm talking, 30, 35, 40, 45. Like, if you're a MILF and you're good looking, I don't see why the hell I shouldn't take a chance with you. Because hell, I'm in my 20s, I'm pretty much testing out different experiences, and I'm in it to have fun. I'm not trying to get anyone kids or start a family with someone that old because, well, they've probably already done that already. But anyways, always put that process in that progress, or be the prevention. If you guys want to hit us up, it is on our Twitter page, or should I say my Twitter page, at Bagaka the D, on Facebook at Breaktime on Westside Podcast, and on Instagram at Breaktime_Westside. Give me your feedback. I want to see, or should I say, I want to read what it is that you think about it, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Later.